Hey everyone, welcome back for another Grim Dawn video guide. In today's video we are going over the Aegis Commando. This was my old Commando from Vanilla when he used to use the Sharzul's World Eater two-hander coupled with Force Wave and some bombs to basically stun and blow up everything around him and burn it in unholy fire. Well, he's changed because I didn't want to be reliant on Sharzul's World Eater. I wanted this character to be able to use other gear, and that includes the set he's currently running, the Aegis of the Legion set. So let's take a look at that real quick. It is comprised of a revolver, a one-handed gun, the Aegis revolver, a shield, the Aegis Defender, and a belt, the Aegis Waistguard. When we get into items, I'll go over the specifics of what these do. But suffice it to say, this is the core of his build right now. I will note one thing though, going forward. He could easily go back to running a two-hander. He could run Sharzul's World Eater, what is it, Unholy Brimstone, whatever that other two-hander is that's really good for commandos. He could run a sword and board build. He could run a rifle even. I mean, he'd drop Force Wave, of course. But yeah, he can run a lot of options because, I mean, he's a commando at his core. So let's look at his abilities, his skills. We have Force Wave. Now, with this character right now, I'm not overcapping anything except a little bit for Flame Touched. So, everything is pretty much run at cap, and I don't really know what I would want to run overcapped. I'd have to take away some stuff. And, I mean, I could maybe drop Shattering Blast and Improved Casing to sort of tighten things up, but I do really like having Shattering Blast. So, Soldier side. We have Warcry at 10 out of 12. It's going to be 12 out of 12. 1 point on Break Morale. 1 point on Fighting Spirit. Illyrian's Rage is 10 out of 12. It would jump up to 12 out of 12. Force Wave is at 4. It's going to go up to 16. And then Rending Force is at 1, just for the point on it. And then Internal Trauma is at 8. It'll go to 12. 1 point on Maynard's Will. 10 on Overguard. It'll jump up to 12 as well. 10 on Field Command, of course it jumps up to 12, 1 point on Squad Tactics, 1 point on Military Conditioning, 8 on Shield Training, it of course goes to 10 out of 10, 1 on Veterancy, 1 on Decorated Soldier, and 1 on Scars of Battle. Demolitionist side, 8 out of 12 on Flame Touched. I actually would like to get this to 12 out of 12. I could maybe see pulling a point out of, like, point or two out of Warcry. Maybe something else, I don't really know. But yeah, just for the OA, though this character's OA is really good right now. Wait, is this overcapped? I don't remember. We'll have to look at the skills. Anyways, moving along. Temper is a 1 pointer. 1 blast shield at 12 out of 12, so it's at 9 points. 1 point on Canister Bomb, 1 point on Improved Casing, and 3 points on Concussive Bomb. This is an additional stun. On top, Force Wave's massive stun. So we are going to lock down enemies fairly sufficiently with our 2 big stuns. Thermite Mine's going to jump up to 16. 13 points in it. Flashbang's at 9. It's going to jump up to 12. And Searing Light's 1. Granado's 13. Jumps up to 16. 1 point on High Impact. And Shattering Blast is at 9. So it can go to 12. Vindictive Flame is at 11. It goes to 16. And 1 point on Ulzin's Wrath. So, something I'm going to point out with this character is we convert a lot of physical to fire, and that's important, because I have to just note this. We have a bunch of instances of it, where we convert just straight up physical to fire, and what that does is that changes our internal trauma damages to burns. That is pretty substantial for this character because this character is heavily based around fire. And for that, we're going to hop on his gear. So yeah, like I said, we have the Aegis 3-piece. This set, on the pistol, we get Concussive Round. This is something that just procs off of all of our attacks. You'll see a little dart shoot off our character and hit targets. That's the Concussive Round. The belt is a fairly standard belt. It's a very DPS-y belt, though. Good resistances on it, I will say. It's like half a Tinker's Ingenuity, but without the proc. And then we have the Aegis Defender. It's an okay shield. Not a bad shield. Gives +1 all skills, which is pretty nice for us. Gunner's Aegis is a, I don't know what this proc looks like. Oh no, it's just a passive bonus. So if we have a gun, we just get that bonus. So if you look, we get a substantial amount of health off that, and we get just straight up more damage with it. Now the stun blast ability is sort of this shotgun effect, and I'll just show it. So come on, do it, do it. I'm waiting for the dart to pop. I know it'll pop. Come on. That's our stun blast, and then you can see the little dart in there. It'll pop off of one of our dots if we actually... Come on, do it so I can show it. Okay, I guess we're not going to see the dart. It was in there, trust me. But yeah, when you see the big shotgun blast, that thing, that is the stun blast, the concussive blast. Stun blast, not concussive blast. And then the concussive round is like a little dart that you just saw go through the training dummy. So we are also running the mythical Justicar armor. You may remember this from the previous Commando. Straight up upgrade from the normal Justicar set. The big thing are the gloves now. The gloves add fire damage to both Force Wave and Blitz, and they also convert half of Blitz and Force Wave over to fire damage. Some people don't really like this because they were running pure physical Force Wave characters with the Justicar armor, and now you had to run it as a fire character. To me, this just makes it much more Commando oriented, rather than just build soldier, add Commando parts to it. Or add demo parts to it, excuse me. So yeah, we'll just slap that on. Set's pretty good. Burning Justice is a nice proc. This is... the swirling flame around us, that's Burning Justice. And... we just burn everything around us. And that was the dart. It finally popped. So these two sets actually work really well together for that, because you'll get the concussive round proccing quite a bit with Burning Justice up. So yeah, his pants are some Chupacabra leg guards. Fire-oriented ones. Not bad at all, because they fix our elemental resistance like crazy. Also give us a lot of poison res, which is pretty cool. +3 to high impact. That's okay. I had these drop and I was like, yeah, they're getting used. So yeah, we have the mythical Golemborn Greaves, and that's just standard good legendary boot. For our jewelry, so you definitely want to pick up a Shard of Eternal Flame. I'm probably going to be using this on this character pretty much no matter his build. I think I'm going to keep him very fire oriented, even if I choose to not use Force Wave anymore, because this will turn Force Wave combined with the gloves completely into a fire ability, and it adds a lot of fire to it too. We have the mythical Closed Fist of Vengeance. I need the mythical Open Hand. It still hasn't dropped for me. I considered cheating it for this video, but I decided just to give you guys the raw look at the Commando. So yeah, I would absolutely go for the Open Hand of Mercy if I could get it, but I don't have it yet. Instead, I'm going to run a mythical Combustion Band. It's definitely not what I want, but it works because, again, we are very, very heavy on that fire damage. And this will give us a little bit extra resistance reduction towards fire. And we do deal some physical damage. It's not like we just don't have physical damage in there. So the proc isn't bad. And then these two pieces, I think I'm going to replace both of them eventually. So the mythical Pyroclasm Mark is okay. It's much more oriented towards a rifle. This is a ranged dual wielding, or two, okay. It's much more geared towards using two pistols or a rifle. It's definitely for the Purifier. Not much, not really for Commandos. I mean, it works for Commandos. It's working for this character. I just had it floating around and I needed a metal. Mark of Divinity is probably what I'll go with if I can get a mythical one. Still haven't gotten a mythical one. So yeah, we're just going to have to throw this in here for now. And he has a Lyran's Wrath. I might switch over to Korvok's Deception, because I have one floating around, and it's a really, really good relic, but he wouldn't get the proc out of it. If for anything, it has % OA and DA, which is, you know, really good. But yeah, we'll just run Lyran's Wrath for now. So that's our gear. Let's switch on our buffs. Oh, right. I need something. I need a component on the gun. I think I wanted to go for a Seal of Resonance, and I didn't have the Ogden Blooms to make it. So yeah, just as an aside, there is a missing component on this character still. But yeah, anyways, Our resistances are either at, above, or near cap. I'm fine with having a little less bleed res on a soldier because of Scars of Battle. And, I mean, Chaos res, yeah, not having it at 80 is a shame, but it's fine to just have one sort of subpar resistance, I guess. Anyways, 3.2 on OA, 2.6 on DA. I'd actually really like this character's DA to be a little higher. We have some pretty good armor. 3K is respectable. I think could possibly go a little higher. Maybe with 1 or 2 pieces of gear or even a devotion. But that's almost irrelevant because we have 100% armor absorption. So anything below 3k damage more or less, we just don't take damage from it. Good mitigation. So our Force Wave, as you can see, deals a predominant amount of fire damage and hits with a burn. And yeah, we are mostly fire damage. So as we're just gonna start attacking. You can see we attack fairly quickly, even with one gun. Force Wave hits like a truck, and yeah, we deal some pretty not bad damage, at least to a training dummy. So anyways, let's look at the skills again. See what's at cap. Like I said, character feels a little stretched thin, but I think he's ultimately fine. Oh yeah, we are overcapping that. So I would need 4 points to get that to its maximum overcapping. But honestly, I may even take these 3 points out and still put them in something else. Oh yeah, I could maybe balance these out. I could maybe take it, put those 3 points in something to overcap it. Who knows? So yeah, stats real quick. 82, 10, 10. I have 10 points on Cunning and Spirit for prerequisites. Otherwise, it's all physique, as you would expect. Alright, so let's look at Devotion. There are a couple things to note about Devotion. If this character were to use a two-hander, he would completely drop, if he could, the Hydra, which I think is maybe droppable. We'd have to replace it to get the Chaos and... or no, just the Eldritch. Just the Eldritch affinity on it. Because that is covering the affinity for Olsen's Torch. I think I would maybe... because we just need the 3, right? So yeah, if you were going to two-hander, here's the point I'm trying to make. We want to pick up the Kraken. Because the Kraken just enables two-handers so hard. And I'm just going to note this first. So yeah, if we were doing a two-hander, I would absolutely drop the Shield Maiden. Pick up the Kraken. Actually... so that's 4 points. That's most of the Kraken anyways. So yeah, I think I would just make that swap. And I'd maybe just pull this point out of the Crossroads for Law to complete it. But yeah, I would drop the Hydra and pick up something else that gives 3 Eldritch. I don't really think it matters what. You could probably pick up Flame Torrent. You could probably pick up... geez. Yeah, the Fissure. I don't know if you can complete that though. Because that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you need another point to complete that. Yeah. So, anyways, you'd want to just swap out something for 3 Eldritch from the Hydra if you choose to not run the Aegis set. But since we're running the Aegis set, here's my Devotion. So we definitely want these 4 nodes of the Shield Maiden because they enable shields so hard. These plus shield training basically give us a massive amount of our defense. In order to get the Law and Primordial for that, we very simply just need the Eel. And we go for the Viper. Because, like I said, we want to get Olsen's Torch. And this will complete part of the Chaos requirement for that. So that opens up the Shield Maiden. This also, incidentally, opens up the Kraken if we need it. And did we need that Primordial elsewhere? I don't think so. No. So yeah, that'll open up the Kraken. At least the primordial side of the Kraken. And the Law side, you only need 4. So we have the Dryad, which is a nice constellation all round, with 1 point on the Law Crossroads. Order, Crossroads, I said order. You can't prove that otherwise, including rewinding about 10 seconds. Anyways, yeah, so for the Torch and the Hydra, we need a little bit of Ascendant, and that little bit of Ascendant comes from the Empty Throne, which helps fix some of our resistances, gives us a little stun res on top of it. And then we need a lot of Eldritch. And Eldritch is easy to get. You go for like the Hawk, and you go for Scholar's Light, and that'll open up your Eldritch. And the Chaos, you can easily get it with the Jackal. The Jackal's amazing now, thanks to the total speed in the middle. And part of what I wanted to do was actually pick up Chariot of the Dead, specifically for that node, the offensive ability node, but it also helps us meet our requirements for Olsen's Torch. Now, I don't have an order to do these in. If you choose to do a two-hander, though, I highly recommend the Kraken first, because that'll just give you a lot of damage. And then working over to the Torch next. Alternatively, if you intend to go pistol the entire time, or just ranged weapon the entire time, pick up the Hydra first, so you get enabled by that. Our other devotions, aside from our prerequisites, so I'm going to point out, Wayward Soul is a heal. This will help us sustain. Dryad's Blessing, a heal. This will help us sustain. And we can control this one with throwing out flashbangs. We have Eldritch Fire attached to Warcry, so pretty much our Warcries will debuff the enemies. And we have Meteor Shower, classically attached to Thermite Mine. I mean, really, we could attach this to anything else. We could probably go for Force Wave. It's a fairly reliable way to proc it. Canister Bomb, really reliable way to proc it. Thermite Mines, though, they've always been reliable. Hell, even Stun Blast could proc it for us, even though it would proc it at a lower rate. So our devotion, it's pretty much just prerequisites to get a big Meteor Storm. And for the in-the-field stuff, I'm grabbing a stream to go over. So you're going to see the basics of this character covered. This is back from the stream on Friday when I was leveling him up. He essentially plays the same regardless. And the footage works. He takes out a lot of heroes. Takes out Charzul. So this is just to demo that he does, in fact, function properly in the Bastion of Chaos. So we have our unskippable Room of Death thing here. And this character does some minor kiting. He's fairly tanky, but I still don't want to face tank with this particular setup. He's really close to being able to face tank, though, and he does a good job regardless surviving. But a little kiting is possible with him. It's the advantage of having a gun and using Force Wave, is you can do some medium range to long range fighting. So the Room of Death went by pretty easily. I think I'm checking gear here, or no, maybe the stream just froze a little bit, but yeah. Anyways, the character is going to move along into the other chunk of the first floor of the Bastion here. Yeah, so we throw stuff in, flashbang, and then we sort of set up our mines, and then we run away so we just don't have to deal with the crystals. And then, yeah, we can sit here and face tank these guys a little bit. We take some damage, but that's okay. Like I said, not exactly level 100. We are running the full Justicar set, if I recall correctly, alongside our full Aegis set. So you can see that we are doing pretty fine. Tactic I found to work best is kind of to play it like a close range Aether Ray almost. I mean, everything becomes close range in Grim Dawn, right? But yeah, get enemies to funnel. Make sure you fight on your Thermite Mines and kite when you need to. And there's our Meteor Shower. You'll see that go off a lot thanks to our Thermite Mines. That'll basically take out, I mean, pretty much everything. By example. And it procs a lot off of Thermite Mines, even with Thermite Mines getting that nerf from a while ago. That supposedly made it so it would proc a lot less. And I mean, it did, but man, does it still proc a lot off of the Thermite Mines. This character doesn't have Nemesis with many groups. I would run a Nemesis spawn usually. Try to find Valderin or Muzalauk or just something Nemesis-y to fight, because they're like the highest end non-challenge bosses in the game, and I prefer to show off builds fighting the high-end non-challenge bosses. But this guy only has Nemesis with the Aetherials, and I didn't want to spend my day running around the game off stream just looking for a Valderin to beat up I just, you know, don't want to do that with this character. It sounds like a cop-out, but I mean, Valderon's such a pain to find, and I just prefer using this footage since we have it anyways, and Bastion is a pretty common area to take a character. I'm also not one for making, like, crazy over-the-top super powerful builds, because if you really wanted to make this character, like, really powerful, you'd probably not even bother with the Aegis set. And even if you did, you'd probably just want to run Cadence, because Cadence would just kill everything really quickly. I think the only trade-off is maybe you'd want to not use the Justicar armor. But even then, the Justicar armor with Cadence would work just fine, since you'd be able to convert the physical to fire and internal trauma to burn. Yeah, this is a little funny thing where his clones are still there, even though he's dead, technically. That confused me. That definitely confused me to have his clones floating around. That happens with Mesmer, too. Where the clones just forget to die, and then they'll fight for a little bit more, and then they'll die. Just a funny little glitch that can happen there. Got a random hero fight here. Or a group fight. I think there's a hero in here. But yeah, this is some fairly okay wave clear on his part, just to take out all of the trash mobs. That's what this build's really good at. Because Force Wave, the bombs, and Meteor Shower, they just deal a lot of area damage. And that is really great for sweeping out, like, say, Steps of Torment or Bastion of Chaos. Probably would still avoid Valbury regardless. That's just because I avoid Valbury as best I can anyways. So we're going into Sharzul's chamber here, and this is kind of funny. I don't think I've ever had this happen, where we have, like, I go to run up my normal route around the right side, and then there's just an enemy hero here. I don't think I've ever had that happen for any of the final rooms in one of the roguelikes. But yeah, you can see on our experience bar at the bottom, we are level 100. That little bit of yellow left happens when you ding 100, ding your cap level, 85 or 100, depending on if you're in vanilla or not. And it'll just stay yellow like that until you reset. Another funny little glitch about Grim Dawn. So with Sharzul here, I end up kiting him a lot, and I don't know, actually, that I needed to kite him as much as I did. I've never been good at making characters that can tank him. And this guy's no exception. Like, we took a big old double swipe from him. But yeah, I'm really paranoid about fighting Sharzul, and the fact that our characters predominantly fire means this fight is an endurance match more than anything. So kiting him is still important to do, just so we don't randomly die. I think I maybe come close here, because Sharzul to me is always really bursty too. Like, he has so many dots and so many just fire effects that, I don't know, I'm paranoid about having a tornado spawn on me while he does his wrath move and then swings at me, like, and does that move. I'm just really paranoid about having multiple things hit me in this, and I generally want to keep as much of it away from me as possible. And that's pretty much how I fought him this entire time. I mean, his entire time existing in the game. Like, yeah, we're capable of face tanking him, kinda, like we do right here. That might be in part because we get a lot of procs off and we have Overguard going. So like I said, I maybe could have just stayed up in his face a lot more than I did. I think I start doing it more as the fight goes on. One thing I'll note with this character is he's kind of snowbally. Like, your first couple hits, you'll maybe notice you won't deal as much damage. But as your burns start to take effect, and your burns start to stack, and your internal trauma start to stack, yeah, here we go. Just standing in a bunch of fire, and yeah, we lost about half our health there, but we managed to face take him a bit. Yeah, so again, get him to stand in your thermite mines. It'll proc your meteor shower, and, you know, he'll be weaker for it. But anyways, yeah, this character, you'll notice, like, oh, I'm not dealing a lot of damage with my initial hits, but eventually just health bars disappear. So he is kind of a accelerator character. I don't even know how to put that. Snowball is the best I can think of. But yeah, Sharzul is going to go down here. That's what I'm talking about. Like, we just lost a bunch of health just right then from a bunch of things hitting us. That's what I want to avoid, and that's why I try to kite him more. I mean, I could maybe take, like, my... Oh, I know, actually, that, like, an Aether Battle Mage could take this place very easily. Because, I mean, Aether Battle Mages can do that. Probably the same thing with Death Knight, with both with Krieg set. But yeah, now it's like I'm almost in a panic to just get away from him so we can kill him. And part of the reason I did come down here was to look for a World Eater. And when we take him out, he doesn't actually drop it, but I kind of snatch the green he drops out of midair, which happens occasionally. Yeah, and this is why, like, fire against him isn't really optimal, but it's Sharzul. He counts as kind of a big boss, which is why I chose him. So that's going to cover the Aegis Commando. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out my streams. I stream every weekday, around 5 to 6 o'clock EST for a few hours, and I mostly play Grim Dawn. So thanks for watching again, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Another piece that's... Whoop.